find me, yeah, I'm in the front row. Got my 2 tickets on me, I'm in the front row. The best place to be, I'm in the front row. Best place to be, yeah. If you wanna find me, yo, I'm in the front row. Got my 2 tickets on me, I'm in the front row. The best place to be, I'm in.
What's up, yo? Welcome back to the In the Front Row YouTube channel. This is a new episode of Double Trouble. Dustin and Dylan with you, and this is a special one because this is our NCAA March Madness Preview show. The tournament bracket was revealed this past Sunday. We are taping on a Tuesday. Remember, with COVID concerns, this is I believe the 48-hour deadline ends the day we are taping. So yeah, so. No replacement teams so far. All teams are good to go so far. Remember, after that 48-hour deadline, no teams that were out of the field can come into the field. We are going to preview. We're hoping teams like Virginia and Kansas really get to give it their all. Obviously, had to pull out of their conference tournaments. Obviously, people are going to keep an eye on that, and that's concerning, filling out your brackets. You never know how COVID could have impacted the brackets. Hopefully, all games will be played this year. Yeah, we're going to start and preview the 2021 NCAA tournament. Remember, last year, we're 2 years removed from the defending champion when Virginia redeemed winning it all. They lost the UMBC the year before. They came back and won it all. Last year was an open field, and obviously the tournament was canceled. So March Madness is finally back. This has been a 2-year wait. We are super excited, and we are going to start with the West region and the #1 overall seed, the undefeated 26-0 Gonzaga Bulldogs, trying to become the first team since 1976 to win the national title undefeated. Gonzaga, I believe there's been 4 to 5 teams that I believe 5 that have entered the field undefeated since that 1976 Indiana team and have lost.
Last one was Kentucky.
Yeah, in the tournament. Let's dive into it.
Do
We're
it.
going to start with the top half of the West region, kind of break it down for you in our preview show. Gonzaga, an interesting draw for Gonzaga. A lot of people saying it's an easy draw. Let's start with the top half. You have teams like Virginia, like Creighton, and their 8-9 matchup is Oklahoma and Missouri. Your thoughts on the top half of the tournament, or Gonzaga's region?
Yeah, I'm going to say overall, Gonzaga has the easiest region, but they are the #1 overall seed, so they do deserve it, but we'll break more of that down later. Their top half's easy, man. Like, I think their 4 and 5 seeds, if you look at Creighton and Virginia, are both very weak. I think Creighton comes from your great conference.
Don't mess with the Big East.
I'm just saying. I'm just not a big fan. I think Creighton, they're coming off a blowout loss to Georgetown. How did they react there? I actually think UC Santa Barbara beats Creighton. I actually think Ohio upsets Virginia. I just don't think Virginia has the same team as obviously their national championship team. And even when they went in as a 1 seed and they had that horrendous loss, go UMBC, but they had that one horrendous loss. I just don't think it's the same Virginia team this year, and with COVID and everything happening, I actually think Ohio beats them. And I think Ohio actually, if you want a sleeper Sweet 16 team, I think it's Ohio. I think I know we're in the front row and we do a lot of LaMelo Ball coverage and we hype up LaMelo Ball. Jason Preston is a lot like LaMelo Ball. He's a 6'7" point guard. And remember, Ohio went in to play Illinois, who's obviously a #1 seed, who we'll get to later, and only lost by 2 when Preston had a hell of a game there. So I really like Ohio. I like Ohio and Gonzaga to get out, I guess, of this top half. Yeah. And obviously, if you don't have Gonzaga winning and getting to the Elite Eight, I think you're insane because they're a path. They got a really, really good draw.
I think Gonzaga got a really good draw. Like you said, the #1 overall seed. You deserve that good draw to get the winner of the playing game. Gonzaga, I think Oklahoma slides past Missouri, not that it's relevant.
Me too, but yeah.
I think the bottom half is more interesting here. Well, the bottom half of the top half is more interesting here with Creighton and Virginia. Creighton can score the ball. I know they're coming off a blowout loss against Georgetown in the Big East final. Can they recover?
They can't score.
I am a Big East guy, and I always lobby for the Big East, but I have UC Santa Barbara sliding out. I think they're a good defensive team. We'll see how Creighton can line up against that. And Virginia, I have them avoiding the upset in the first round. I still think they play a good pack line defense. They've been on pause this year because of COVID. They had to pull out of the tournament. It's been a roller coaster year for the defending champions. But defense wins championships at the end of the day. I like Virginia to slide past, and I actually like Virginia and Gonzaga both.
You're on the 1-4 Elite Eight or
I
16?
think Gonzaga and Virginia both get out. My only concern with Virginia is obviously they had to pull out of the ACC tournament with COVID concerns. Can they slide to the tournament in a healthy way? We're hoping they can because everyone gets a fair shot. So that's my only concern. But I really do like Virginia. We'll move on
Just remember, the last time Ohio was a 13 seed, they went to the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
Fun facts for you.
Spitting out the fun facts here.
History repeats itself.
Yeah, and obviously I like Gonzaga to get to the Elite Eight. We're gonna go to the bottom half. I think Gonzaga does have an easy draw.
I do too.
I think the first team that could beat them is Virginia, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
I
think I said could. I didn't say it was. It's a very slim chance.
No, I got you.
Not a legit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, and we're gonna move. Anyway, we'll move to the bottom half before I make myself sound like an idiot. Iowa draws the 2 seed in the West region.
Mm-hmm.
How do you like their path? They have Kansas and impossible sleeper teams in this path like USC and Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Take us through the bottom half.
Yeah, I think Iowa's the worst 2 seed. I don't know if they're the 8. I guess they're the 8 overall, so they deserve it. I just think Iowa's really, really inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Luka Garza's big time. I think he could be a pro one day. I don't know, man. I do have him getting out to the Sweet 16. I do have Oregon getting past VCU. I'm an A10 guy, and VCU just can't score the ball. VCU plays havoc basketball, and they don't. When I was watching them in the A10 tournament, they don't press as much as they do did in the Shop Smart days. So I don't really see them creating as much havoc as they used to. Actually have Oregon sliding out there. My sleeper team in this tournament is USC. I love USC. Evan Mobley's going to be a lottery pick. He's right now. I think he's like 2 or 3 overall. I do have Kansas winning their first round. This is the upset right here. I'm taking USC over Kansas, and it's the same thing as Virginia to me. I just don't think Kansas has the teams when they had Devontae Graham back in the day, when they had Mario Chalmers with that big shot and they won the national championship. I just don't think it's that Kansas team. They struggle to score. So I'm actually going to take USC, who has a lot of length, by the way. If you want a tall team like in the tournament, pick USC. And I'm picking USC to actually beat Iowa as well. I really like Evan Mobley, and I think you need that big-time player to advance in the tournament. So I actually have a Gonzaga, USC, all West Coast Elite 8, which, can be – we've talked about this pre-show. The West Coast has struggled to win a championship. Recently, it's been since, Arizona in the 90s, I believe it was. So it's been a long, long time since the West Coast got a championship. So here we go. I have an all West Coast Elite 8. At least I'll have somewhat of a shot, and then I guess we'll predict the final for later. But I have Gonzaga and USC.
I don't see Iowa as a strong 2 seed. Yeah. I think they play, like you said, too slow. I think, and they've also been up and down this year. They've been up, near the top of the country and then fallen off a bit. And then it's been a roller coaster year for them. And obviously that's because of playing in the Big Ten of it. You don't have an off night in that conference. Looking at this, I like both USC and Oregon. I know Oregon had a disappointing showing losing to Oregon State in the Pac-12 tournament, but I still think Oregon is a dangerous team. I like USC to get actually past Kansas as well. I just think the COVID concerns me. I don't know how far I want to pick Kansas. We're going to see if they're going to be healthy moving into the tournament. That was kind of a scare for me. And I actually like Oregon to beat Iowa as well, like a 6-7 Sweet 16. I'm not the biggest fan of Iowa. Luka Garza is a good player. He can ball. But I just and I like
hating on the Big Ten.
And I actually like USC to get to the Elite 8 as well. And are we doing our Final Four yet?
No, we're going to save it. You got to save that for the end.
Okay. Then I won't tell you, but I think it's pretty obvious. But I like the Gonzaga. We agree on the first region. I guess we'll move to the Baylor region next.
We're going Baylor?
Yeah, okay. I guess we'll move to the overall number 2 seed in Baylor. So, hey, there's your Gonzaga region. Baylor, let's look at the top half of the Baylor region. They draw Hartford in the first round.
Tough game.
Then it's an 8-9 matchup that could be interesting. 2 teams that have proven themselves in tournaments before, but kind of on the lower tier this year, North Carolina, Wisconsin. You have Villanova in this region as well as Purdue in the top half. They both have teams that people are saying could possibly pull the upset.
Yeah.
What do you see here in the top half?
Yeah, Baylor's a good team. They'll throw 4 really good guards at you, led by Devon Mitchell. I know a lot of people say Butler's the best player. I think Devon Mitchell's their best player. I actually have North Carolina getting in that. I just think that's all for the branding. They're not that good this year. Let's be honest. It's all for they've done stuff in the past for you type of matchup. But I actually do like North Carolina. They have a lot of length, but they just don't have any guard play. RJ Davis is a freshman. He's young and he's their best guard. But if they had guard play, man, they would be good. But their guys inside are really good. So I actually like North Carolina advancing out of there. I know a lot of people are saying Winthrop and Villanova or Winthrop and North Texas have a chance. I don't see it. I know Winthrop can really score the basketball. But I actually like Villanova and Purdue both advancing. I think both of them avoid the upset. Every time I pick against Villanova to get upset, they never do. So I just went with my gut here. I was like, they're doing. I know Gillespie's out for Villanova, but I really think Villanova. Jay Wright has been there before in the tournament, and I think he'll have his team prepared. And when the Villanova Winthrop game feels like, when a lot of people talk about the upset and the upset, it doesn't happen. That's what it feels like to me. So I would actually be careful with that one. So I actually have Villanova and Purdue there. I do have Baylor beating North Carolina. I think it's going to be a tough game for Baylor because Baylor is kind of small. And like I said, North Carolina has a lot of length. But I do have Baylor sneaking past that one. I think it's going to be not a wake-up game, but a tough game to get by for them. And I have Purdue beating Villanova. I don't think Villanova is that strong. I don't think they upset in the first round. But Purdue brings some big guys at you. They have some nice freshman guards. So I really like Purdue, actually. So I have actually Baylor and Purdue. This region is actually really non-upset. Just move on. Really boring region. And I actually have Baylor and Purdue in the Sweet 16. I have Baylor beating Purdue in the Sweet 16.
This is a challenging region for me. I think
there's not much going on in this one.
I like Baylor, obviously, to slide easily into the round of 32. I like North Carolina to beat Wisconsin. I think the length of North Carolina will at least get them through the first round. And they could challenge Baylor. I just think, like you said, Baylor has way too four good guards they can throw at you. If you look at the bottom half, I like Purdue to slide out. I think Purdue is kind of underrated. I know
where you're going with this already.
I like Purdue to slide out, but I like Winthrop to beat Villanova. But also,
of course you do.
But only on one condition. If Connor Gillespie, if he plays. And that's –
he's out.
Yeah, that's the. I know last time I checked he was questionable. I don't. But yeah,
he was out.
But maybe he is out. I haven't looked at it.
Yeah.
But I should have prepared more than that Villanova. But I think.
Love them.
I think that addition he would split the Big East Player of the Year with two other people. So that shows obviously if you're winning a Conference Player of the Year, it shows how elite you are. It shows how meaningful you are to your team. It's difficult. I think that hurts Villanova a little bit.
Of course you will.
I do like Purdue to beat Winthrop and then Baylor to get through too easily against North Carolina. I think it could be a little challenge just because the length of North Carolina and they can really rebound the ball. That could give Baylor issues, but I think Baylor – I don't think you'll see them like Oklahoma State in the Big 12 semifinal have another off night like that for the tournament. I think they'll rebound with Butler and Mitchell. And I do like Baylor to slide past Purdue. Purdue has two big guys that you have to watch out for. Baylor has a lot of length in this region that they're going to have to go against.
They do.
Let's move to the bottom half of the bracket, and Ohio State, obviously the 2 seed in this bracket. Do you see Ohio State having any challenges? They have Florida, Virginia Tech in the 7-10 matchup, Arkansas and Texas Tech all in the bottom half of this region. Texas Tech made the national final a few years back. So what do you see?
I actually have a pretty straightforward region here, too, in the first round, except Virginia Tech. So I do have, Texas Tech, Arkansas winning. I know a lot of people said Colgate can beat Arkansas. Get out of here. Arkansas is way too good for that. I actually like Virginia Tech to beat Florida. I just think Florida – Mann is the only person that can score for them. Besides that, they really have nowhere else to go. This is not a Florida team that Mike Wright has had in the past. So I actually like Virginia Tech, who I know they showed up to the ACC tournament and lost, but you also got to realize Virginia Tech didn't play a game for 2 weeks. They had the COVID pause. I think they'll be more prepared for this one. So I actually like Virginia Tech over Florida. I like Ohio State to beat Virginia Tech. I think that's a pretty straightforward game to them. I actually think Ohio State got a decent draw on the bottom half here. And I also like with Ohio State, and I also like I also like Arkansas to beat Texas Tech. Texas Tech, the only thing that scares me about Texas Tech, and I guess you can speak on this, Matt McClung is a really good player. But where do they go? It's kind of like, that one team scoring when I was talking about Miles Powell last year. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up.
No.
But no, where do they go besides Matt McClung? And Matt McClung's had off games before. He's not the most consistent. So I actually like Texas Tech to lose there and Arkansas advancing there. And I actually like Ohio State to beat Arkansas. I'm not supposed to say that yet. Sorry.
No, I think that's fine.
Is that fine?
Yeah.
Okay. So actually, sorry, my bad. I thought I went too far. I really like Ohio State's team this year. I like Dwayne Washington. He's a big-time player. Liddell's an All-American. So I actually really like Ohio State in the depth they have. And I like Baylor. I just think it's a pretty straightforward region. I have Baylor, Ohio State in the Elite Eight.
I do think this is a pretty straightforward region. My only thing with the NCAA tournament, you always think everything is straightforward. And then
I think this one is.
Then you look and you're like, what the heck happened in my bracket? I actually like Ohio State and Florida to get into the second round. I don't think it matters. I think Ohio State beats Florida or Virginia Tech. I like Texas Tech. I know people were saying there's a possible upset there in the first round. I do like Texas Tech. As Jay Bill says, they are the better team. I also Like that's not a diss. I just like how he says it. They are the better team. I like Arkansas to slide out past Texas Tech. I know a lot of people think Arkansas will lose to Colgate in the first round. There's a possible 3-14 upset there because Colgate can score the ball. And I think it's a pretty straightforward region. I like. I'm allowed to say that.
Sometimes I lose it a little bit.
And I like Ohio State. I like the way Washington. I like a 1-2 Elite Eight matchup here in Baylor and Ohio State.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty straightforward region.
Yeah,
Where are we going next, host?
I guess we're gonna go to Illinois because they're the 3 seed, correct?
Yeah, they have to be.
Yeah. So we're gonna go to the Illinois region, and people are saying this could be the most difficult region on the bracket. They have a lot of teams in the top half.
I agree.
It's going to be interesting. Illinois gets Drexel in the first round. Loyola, Chicago, Georgia Tech, looming that 8-9 matchup. A lot of people think a possible in-state matchup is going to be or could happen. But Georgia Tech, remember, a 9 seed, even though they won the ACC tournament.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I think they should have been higher. You have Tennessee, who's been – if Tennessee could score the ball consistently, they would be on the 2 or 3 teams. And then Tennessee gets Pac-12 tournament champion Oregon State. Oklahoma State, who made the Big 12 final, is in this region as the 4 seed. They get Liberty, who plays the pack line defense. They're kind of like, if you compare them to Virginia.
Yeah.
So a lot of good teams in this region, and Sister Jean is coming to the tournament. Is it worth it for her?
Well, I'll get there in a second.
Let's look at the top half.
Yeah, I just want to say the committee must hate Illinois. They threw every good team they could. Not one of these teams could have gone with Gonzaga or even Michigan or Baylor or any other ones. They just threw every good team at the bottom. They're like, not the bottom, but the bottom on the bracket when you fill it out. They just, when you're waiting for that TV show when the season finale is the best, they're like, we'll wait till you get to the bottom of the bracket to fill it out just to throw every single good team in there. I actually like Illinois obviously advancing out. I actually like Georgia Tech, so I don't think it's worth for Sister Jean. I think Georgia Tech is a scrappy team led by the leader in Alvarado. Moses Wright is the ACC Player of the Year, and you mentioned you're not the ACC Player of the Year without doing nothing. So they're 2 really good players there. It concerns me because I think Georgia Tech might be tired. They do get a week off, but they don't play a lot of guys. But I think their defense is one of the best you will watch with Josh Pastner down there. He's done a really good job at Georgia Tech. I think they got disrespected. If you're an ACC champion and get the 9, that's kind of –
they were the 4 seed coming to the tournament. It's not like they were
low. So they got a little disrespect there. But I do like Georgia Tech, so I don't think it's worth it. Sorry, Sister Jean. I do like the story, but I just got to pick with my brain. I think down low, I think Oklahoma State easily wins in the first round. I don't want to hear this hype about Liberty and trying to play this path on defense. Cade Cunningham is a bad – can't say on air on YouTube. He's a bad man. He'll be the number 1 pick for a reason. I think Tennessee-Oregon State's game is going to be entertaining, but I actually like Tennessee. They need to get more consistent scoring, and if Fulkerson plays, it's going to help them. Obviously, he got hit in the face in the SEC tournament. So I actually like Tennessee and Oklahoma State to come out there. But Oregon State is no joke. Obviously, they just won the Pac-12. But the Pac-12 is, to me, weaker than the ACC. And the ACC got disrespected more. It doesn't make any sense. But, okay, so we're going to Illinois, Georgia Tech. I actually have Illinois coming out there. I think it would be a really good game. I don't want to see Illinois with all the size and everything they have and the good guard play they have against Georgia Tech's defense. But I think Illinois will be a good game, but advances out there. And I like Oklahoma State to beat Tennessee. I really like Oklahoma State. I'm just going to say this because I'm getting to the net. This is where I'm leading up right here. I actually think Oklahoma State – Ayo Dosunmu versus Cade Cunningham. This is what, after a tough year of quarantine, this is what college and missing March Madness. This is what college basketball fans deserve. So if this doesn't happen, I'll be really upset. And I actually like Cade Cunningham in the matchup. I think Oklahoma State's a really good team. They lost to a really good Texas team in the final. I know I've been picking a lot of straightforward, but I am taking Oklahoma State to get to the Elite Eight, and Cade Cunningham beats Ayo Dosunmu in a matchup there that we all want to see. And I take Oklahoma State to beat Illinois.
I mean, the brackets can't be that straightforward. I know it's a top-heavy year, but it's the NCAA tournament. Anything can happen. I like an Illinois-Georgia Tech matchup as well. I know people are rooting for as well as me for that in-state matchup. I just think Georgia Tech's coming off some momentum, winning the tournament or the ACC tournament. I think, like you said, their defense is good. I like Tennessee and Oklahoma State both to get out. I know both are saying that there could be possible upsets with Oregon State and Liberty in the first round. This Tennessee-Oklahoma State matchup is going to be entertaining to me. I think Oklahoma State – I went back and forth on this one of who to pick. I did pick Oklahoma State and Cade Cunningham. I think he has good players around him. They're just – even though they lost in the tournament final, they are coming off a win against Baylor. So they've shown they can beat – if you can beat Baylor, you can pretty much beat anyone in the field. I think Tennessee could very easily get to the Sweet 16. Though, do not count them out. And I like, but I do like an Illinois-Oklahoma State matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like Illinois to get out of the region. I think you saw them in the Big Ten tournament. They were there to prove something.
Yeah.
And obviously with the talk of Michigan, who's better on the one line.
The Big Ten was stacked.
Illinois was there to prove something. You saw how they played. And I do like, as long as Illinois stays out of foul trouble, I think they'll be a heavy contender in this tournament. And I like Illinois to beat Oklahoma State.
I was a really good player.
And get to the Elite Eight.
I just knew he was a really, really good player.
Yeah.
Really can get up at the rim.
He almost made the shot at the end. They almost didn't go to overtime. If he had just a little bit more legs against Ohio State, it wouldn't have been an overtime game. We're going to move to the bottom. That was a great game. We're going to move to the bottom. Every time it looked like Ohio State was out of it, they came right back. We're going to move to the bottom half of this bracket, and it gets maybe a little interesting here. San Diego State and Syracuse is the first matchup, and people falling off their chair at Syracuse not getting in the playoff game and getting a secure 11 seed.
That's interesting.
West Virginia's in this region. A Clemson-Rutgers matchup. Rutgers, I believe they said it's been 4 or 5 new conferences since they made the tournament. So Rutgers.
Your favorite school.
No.
You have Villanova and Rutgers in this tournament.
Yeah, without Seton Hall being here. It's kind of like Houston in this region as well. A lot of people haven't talked about Houston. They've been nationally ranked all year. They get Cleveland State in the first round. Cleveland State is historic first round upsets. I know people are saying it. I don't believe in it.
Yeah.
Do you?
No, I don't. But I know they have 2 big 15-2 upsets. The last one being Missouri.
Yeah.
I actually think Missouri to go far that year. I liked Missouri. I was like the new team. Let's go. But obviously they didn't get out of the first round. But I actually do like Houston. They played really good defense with Grimes as their leader, and you have to have a big shot maker. And if you watch the American final, he was definitely the semifinal, excuse me. They had a little easier time with Cincinnati. But when they played Memphis, he was definitely their big shot maker down the stretch. I actually like Rutgers to beat Clemson. I know Clemson, it's just kind of personal for me. They kind of handed it to Maryland, so I just wanted Big Ten team to win. I didn't really care about that matchup. So I was like, go Rutgers, and also just to spite you a little bit.
Yeah, I know you did.
Actually,
I know how you work.
Yeah, I think West Virginia slides out pretty easily. And I know I'm going to go on a rant about Syracuse here, but it's not going to make sense. I don't know what does Jim Boeheim do every year?
I don't know.
But he gets these seedings. Like you got to think about it. They're 8th in the ACC. They're 1-7 against quad 1 teams. Their only good win is North Carolina. And he's here as an 11 seed, and you put Michigan State, and you can even go. I can see UCLA, but you put Michigan State in the best conference in basketball as a 9. They were the 9th best team according to seeding in the Big Ten. But Michigan State has big wins. They have Illinois, Michigan, 2 of the 1 seeds. They have huge wins this year. And I believe they also beat Ohio State, if I remember right as well. They beat 3 of the 4 best teams in the Big Ten. It was Illinois, Michigan, I believe Ohio State, but don't mark me on that one. Or no, it was Iowa, I believe. It was Iowa or Ohio State, one of the 2. But, come on, man. They have big wins. They beat 2 of the 1 seeds, and they're in a playing game, and Syracuse isn't. And their only win is North Carolina, an 8 seed. I don't know what Jim Boeheim does every year, but he must be doing something. But I actually do have Syracuse winning with all that.
You're talking everything with Syracuse winning.
It's like they come in with this mindset. You can rant all you want, but they do win tournament games. So I was like, I'm just going to take Syracuse because San Diego State just struggles to score, and I don't know. I just didn't really like them as a team, so I just took Syracuse. I do have West Virginia beating Syracuse. I don't think they go on their little Sweet 16 Final Four run when they did that one year when they were questioning. I do like West Virginia in that game, and I do like Houston beating Rutgers, and I really like Houston this year. I think Grimes is a really good player. Yeah. And I actually like Houston beating West Virginia, and then we'll get to it.
Okay. Yeah, I think the top half is interesting. I think the bottom half is a little weaker for Illinois. In the Illinois region, I should say. Yeah. I like San Diego State to get out of the first round. I know you said they can't score. I look at it more as like a balanced scoring attack. Mitchell and Pulliam can both play, and they are coming off a Mountain West title, beating Utah State, so they're coming in. But they're coming in with momentum.
No, they are.
So I like San Diego State actually to get out of the first round. I like West Virginia. This region is pretty straightforward in the first round for me. I do like Clemson to beat Rutgers. Yeah, it might be a little personal. And then I do like Houston to get out of the first round. I know people are saying, this magical upset. I do like Houston to get out of the first round. They've been nationally ranked all year. I think they could be one of the most underrated teams in the field. I actually like San Diego State to beat West Virginia. I just was looking at something because I'm like, the tournament never goes as it typically does.
Sure.
So I actually like San Diego State to beat West Virginia. West Virginia's been up and down all year. And I like Houston to beat Clemson, and I like Houston to get to the Elite Eight. I like a 1-2 matchup as well in this region between Illinois.
We're plugging along.
Yeah, and Houston, we are going to the last region, and Michigan leads this region. They have LSU and St. Bonaventure in the 8-9 in the top half.
Yeah.
Colorado and Big 12 champion, or Big East champion, Georgetown, excuse me. And Florida State as well in this region. Florida State made the ACC tournament final. Your thoughts on the top half of the Michigan region?
Excuse me. I like Michigan to slide out. What are you looking at me for?
Nothing. I'm just waiting for your thoughts.
No, I'm just tired of the disrespect of an A-10 champion.
Yeah.
It's like Georgia Tech. Why are we on the 9? Not we. I don't play for the team, but I'm like them. Why is St. Bonaventure on the 9 line? That's disrespectful. They ran because it wasn't like they had a close game in the A-10 tournament. They won all their 3 games by big margins. They dominated every single game. If you're the clear-cut team like that, they should at least be on the 7 line. I'm not asking them to be a 1 or 2 seed, but the 9. It's all about ratings, and obviously St. Bonaventure is a really small school, and March Madness, the NCAA won't say that, Mark Emmert won't say that, but we all know what it is. It's all about ratings and branding. That's the only reason Syracuse gets in every year. But what? I'm just saying, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, if you haven't watched St. Bonaventure play, they're like Baylor. They have 4 really, really good guards, and Osumo inside is a beast. He's the A-10 Defensive Player of the Year for a reason. So they're like Baylor with a little bit of extra. But I think, obviously, Baylor's guards are more talented than St. Bonaventure's guards, obviously. But I'm just saying, led by Kyle Lofton, who is the leader of that team. With Attaway, Holmes, and Welch, they have 4 really, really good guards. I just want to rant about how great. I can rant for
I'm listening.
He doesn't care.
No, I'm listening.
No, I'm saying that they have 4 really big guards. They're not very deep. That's the only concern that I have. So playing games like that. But they did, like I said, they did run through the A-10. It didn't seem to affect them. So I actually have St. Bonaventure beating LSU. I'm tired of the disrespect. And they need to beat a big school. Like they beat UCLA in that playing game when Jay Adams was there as their leader. And now they're going to do it again. They're going to beat LSU, who's an overrated team and a football school. I don't want to hear about no basketball promise. Sorry.
You're really petty about this.
Well, I'm just tired of the committee doing it for ratings. These kids put in practice. I'm not trying to be that dramatic, parent. I sound like. Yeah, you really. But no, but everyone puts in this, not the same amount, but everyone puts in a lot of work. Don't do it on ratings. Like, that's why I'm done. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna move on. Yeah. Actually, can I just say something that might get us fined by the NCAA? They probably won't see this. But I actually have Florida State getting out in the first round. I know people say there might be enough, but they're actually really like Florida State with their line and MJ Walker, who should be playing at Maryland, but. I really liked him in high school. That's why. But he's really become a great senior for them at Florida State. And I actually have Georgetown, your boys, your Big East boys. I actually have them beating Colorado. I know McKinley Wright. He's gotten all this praise about being the best since Chauncey Billups at Colorado. But he's a one-man wrecking crew. There's really not much else there for Colorado. I like Georgetown. They're on a big momentum. Patrick Ewing has been in the tournament before as a player, and obviously he has them doing something right. It's either he has them doing something right or the Big East really sucks. So we'll figure out which one when they play Colorado. So I actually have Georgetown there. I did really want to do this, but I couldn't. I did pick Michigan to be right. I wanted to. I was like, I should just do it. Yeah. Because I don't think Michigan's going to get very far, to be honest. So I was like, I should just really do this, But I did take Michigan. I do respect them, even though we're Maryland fans. What's happened with Michigan and Maryland. You got to go with your head sometimes. And I did pick Florida State to beat Georgetown. I think Florida State, with all their length, will give problems for Georgetown. I think Georgetown, they do have length too.
No good story.
They do have length too, but their guards are really small compared to Florida State, where their guards are really tall. I do like Florida State in that game. And I actually like Florida State beating Michigan. We don't know if Livers is going to be a go. Jay Billis always says, and I do agree, they're an elite offense with him, a good offense, or great, whatever you want to say, without him. So I do like Florida State with all the length they can bring. If Florida State doesn't turn over the basketball, they'll be fine. But they do turn over a lot. But if they can take care of the basketball, I actually see them beating Michigan and getting to the Elite Eight. Elite Eight. Sometimes I lose track where we are. Yeah.
Sorry, I had to go on a I guess my analysis about this
really upset.
I like Michigan obviously getting out in the first round. I like LSU beating St. Bonaventure. I know you're gonna
don't talk
hate me for that, and I was I think LSU they have 4 double-digit scores. They have balanced scoring led by Cameron Thomas, who averages over 22 a game. They just got to the SEC final and almost beat Alabama.
Defense.
They just got to but they can score, and they got to they're a dangerous team. They got to the SEC final and by upsetting Arkansas, and then they almost beat Alabama. It was a very close game. So I think that's going to be a team to watch out for. I like Colorado and Florida State both getting on. I know there's possible upsets. I like Georgetown. Well, I did go back and forth on the Georgetown upset. They are coming off.
The field goal story always
yeah,
wins
they are.
one game. So I was like,
Yeah, they are coming off
Yeah.
feel good story. Patrick Ewing rapping Drake. It's it's a great story. And I almost did pick Georgetown. I wouldn't be shocked if that didn't happen. I like Florida State to beat Colorado to get to the Sweet 16, and then I actually like LSU to beat Michigan. I know there's injury concerns in Michigan, and I was thinking.
Going for it.
Well, no. Here's what I was thinking before.
An 8 always does beat a 1.
Maybe
so.
maybe I'm reading too far into the NCAA tournament.
Here we go.
But my thing is, every year in the NCAA tournament, a 1 seed usually falls by the round of 32. In latest round of 16, I know people are saying the 1 seeds are heavy favorites this year, and I think it's been since 2008.
I think
since,
two of them lose by the Sweet 16.
No,
yeah.
but I think people are saying I think it's been since 2008 since all 4 1 seeds have made the Final Four. And I think people are saying that could happen. I was like, which one could be the most vulnerable? And I was like, that's Michigan. They've been vulnerable at times this year. They lost to Ohio State in the Big Ten. They were down 12 to Maryland, who is a 10 seed in this tournament. So we've seen that's not it. I'm saying they're in the tournament, but I'm saying they've they've been vulnerable this year. I like LSU in their balanced scoring attack. They can score the ball. Michigan does have length, which I think will be impactful, but I like LSU actually to get out and make a Sweet 16 run. And then I actually like Florida State to get to the Elite Eight as well. Leonard Hamilton always puts consistent teams on the floor.
They can take care of the basketball.
Yeah, I think we'll move on to the bottom half, which also gets very intriguing in the Michigan region.
Michigan has a tough draw, too.
BYU, who almost beat Gonzaga, who is undefeated, is in this region. And they get the Michigan State-UCLA play-in game, which is going to be interesting. Texas in this region, a UConn-Maryland matchup. And also Alabama in this region, the SEC tournament champions. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to start with the playing game. I'm taking Michigan State. I think Michigan State rolls UCLA. Sorry, Pac-12 fans and West Coast fans. I gave you respect with Gonzaga and USC at the top, but if you're a UCLA fan, I'm sorry. I think Michigan State steamrolls them. I think Tom Izzo is something else in March. And Tom Izzo disrespected is something great in March. I'm not rolling off that train. I actually take Michigan State to beat BYU. I don't care about the little pouty West Coast Conference. They have one good team. No, I'm kidding. They do have two. BYU is a very talented team. I'm rolling with the Tom Izzo disrespect train. That's the only reason. I think BYU, honestly, they had a great year, but they got a really crappy draw.
They did.
They should be playing Syracuse or UCLA, not Michigan State or UCLA, but we can get into that later. So I actually think Michigan State there. I think Texas easily rolls. I think Texas is on a roll. I'm taking Maryland. I know. I hope you better, dude, or you better as well. But I'm taking Maryland. If Maryland can get to the rim, sometimes they're too complacent. If Aaron Wiggins and Eric Ayala, their two best players, can get to the rim and they're in attack mode, like when Aaron Wiggins took over that second half against Michigan State in the Big Ten tournament, that's how Maryland has to play, getting to the rim. Not sometimes they settle for these step back threes and Aaron Wiggins hit the side of the backboard. I'm like, what are you doing? Like if you're either hitting the side of the backboard or making layups, which ones would you rather want? But yeah, so they need attack mode. Maryland will be just fine. Their inside's a little weak, but it's okay. We can complain about that later. And I have Alabama rolling past Rick Pitino. I know Rick Pitino is a great story, taking 5 teams to the tournament. And they were joking with him as a 15 seed, you don't get the luxurious hotels, but I just think Alabama brings too much length. And if you want to watch a fun team play, watch Alabama. They are just chuffing. They're the Houston Rockets when James Harden was there of the NBA or of college basketball. I actually have Texas. This was tough. So I did want to take the Michigan State train, and I'm telling you, I would not be surprised if Michigan State gets to the Sweet 16. So I'm a little hesitant, but I'm going to take Texas. I think Shaka Smart really has been playing. Jericho Sims has grown into an animal as a senior, and if Matt Coleman's playing like he did in the Big 12 tournament, they would be just fine. They have 3 really good guards there in Texas, so I'm going to take Texas, and I did it. You know that TikTok that's like, I'm not going to do it. Yeah. I'm not going to do it. Oh, I did it. Yeah. I did it. I took Maryland to beat Alabama.
There's no way.
Really? No. Let me explain my theory. Aaron Wiggins, Eric Ayala, get to the rim. This is a message for you. Attack. Eric Ayala is one of the best players at getting to the free throw line. He's one of the best free throw shooters. Yeah. Get to the rim. Aaron Wiggins, when he's in attack mode, is a whole nother animal. And Daryl Morcell is just defensive player of the year, yes, and he should be. Do they have an NCAA? I don't think they do, but he would be NCAA defensive player of the year, not just Big Ten. But I know they do by conferences. Alabama, you catch them on an off shooting night. They're, like I said, they're the Houston Rockets of the NCAA basketball. Catch them on an off shooting night you never know. And I know they play really good defense as well, but Maryland plays really good defense too. So I think if you catch Alabama in a little bit of a shaky shooting night because they shoot a lot of threes under Nate Otu, has done a great job there. I did it. I'm taking Maryland to run to the Sweet 16 just because.
Texas beat Maryland.
Yes, I do.
All
But
right.
I don't want to say that. I did have Texas. I think Texas is a really good team this year.
All right. You and your interesting predictions.
Come on, give it a shot. Have some hope. 2021 is the year.
I take Michigan State as well to get out against BYU. I think BYU they can make a possible, and they did hang in with the best team in the country.
They got screwed.
They did. If you're measuring and you're playing the best team in the country, and you're losing very closely, I think that's a good test.
Also they get up and play. They see Gonzaga.
Well, yeah, that's a good litmus test for you.
No, yeah,
I do like Michigan State. Like you said, there's those coaches in March that just know how to win. That's why Floyd Williams could be interesting in this tournament.
Yeah.
He's another one. But Tom Izzo just knows how to win in March. I like Michigan State to get out. I like Texas as well. I think their first round will be one of those blowout games. I like Alabama to get out. Rick Pitino's obviously a feel-good story to get back to the tournament with Iona. I do like Maryland to beat UConn. UConn has good guards, and I would watch out for them. UConn.
Yeah, Darren Wilson's going to shut them down.
Well, no, I'm just saying they have good guards. I'm not as confident as Maryland getting out of the first round as you. The only reason I picked them is because they're my hometown team and I have to roll with them. So I was like Maryland, fine. And I do like Texas getting out against Michigan State. I think it wouldn't be shocked if Michigan State pulls off the shocker there. I like Alabama to beat Maryland. I think there's very slim chance that Maryland. The problem is with Maryland, they always play a game where it's just like they just don't show up. They're very inconsistent.
Yeah, but so can Alabama.
Yeah, but I think Alabama can shoot anyone out of the gym. And Maryland, the problem is they'll play one game when they beat Illinois or they hung in with Michigan for the first half. We saw they played in the second half. They need to put a full 40 minutes together. If Alabama beats Maryland, we'll make a bet. I'll buy you something. Or Maryland beats Alabama, yeah.
So I think
that would be the shocker of the tournament. Yeah,
really?
I won't even take a side.
What if a 16 beats a 1? That's more shocking.
Well,
not
I'm just
happen,
saying. And also, I like Alabama to beat Texas. I really like Alabama this year. They've been dominant in the SEC all year long. I really like Alabama to get out and play Florida State. We're going to move on, I guess, to the –
You know how good the SEC is?
We're going to move on to the Elite Eight and see our Final Four. Let's start with the West region. Do you want me to start, or do you want to start?
Go ahead.
I had Gonzaga, and this was way back in the middle of the show, or the beginning of the show. I had Gonzaga and USC. I don't think this one's that much of a choice here. I had Gonzaga making it to the Final Four. You feel the same way?
Yeah, I had Gonzaga and USC. I think it'll be a better game than people think. I just think, like I said, Gonzaga got a really easy draw compared. They screwed the Big Ten teams this year. The two, like Michigan, Illinois' top half is really tough, and Michigan's region is really tough. But I do like Gonzaga to get to the Final Four.
Okay, and then in the next, I guess we'll go with the Baylor region.
Sure.
I had Baylor and Ohio State as the second region we covered.
Damn, we had seen.
Yeah, this is, to me, the shocker of the tournament. I like Ohio State to get to the Final Four. Am I as confident in this pick? Hell no. But this is one of my theories where I was talking about the one seeds earlier. It's never as straightforward as it seems.
True.
And honestly, this is hard for me because I thought Baylor, and I think Baylor can win it all. I like Ohio State. I like Dwayne Washington. I like what they have going there. They have a good offense, and I think they can compete with Baylor. I like Ohio State to make a Final Four run. They just showed their way in the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, they did. Baylor scares me a little bit. I have Baylor and Ohio State as well. Scares me a tad bit just because they haven't been the same since their COVID pause and when they came back, and they're went into the Big 12 tournament. But they lost to a really good Oklahoma State team. I like Baylor to beat Ohio State. I think they both can score well, but I think Baylor's a little bit better defensively. Yeah. And Baylor has a little bit more experience, and I think their 4 guards running at you is something that college basketball and even the NBA has turned into, and it's the way to win nowadays. More perimeter play, and there's no Shaqs in the NBA unless you're Joel Embiid. So I do like Baylor to get to the Final Four.
And then we're looking at, I guess, the Illinois region, right?
Yeah.
Illinois, I have the 1-2 in Illinois, Houston. I think Illinois gets out here, and we have a rematch of the Big Ten final between Illinois and Ohio State.
Ooh, wow.
I like Illinois to get to the Final Four.
I actually have Oklahoma State and Houston. I think Illinois is going to lose. What? Not all of them are going to make the Elite Eight. I really like Cade Cunningham. If you haven't watched Cade Cunningham play, Watch the man play. And he's even better. He's one of these second half guys where he averages most his points in the second half. The way he took over, even though they lost, the way he took over against Texas when he was in foul trouble in the first half shows a lot about his mental, even the mental side of the game for him. I like Oklahoma State to beat Houston. I said I was a big fan of Houston. I like the way they play defense. They're a really scrappy team, and Grimes is a big shot maker, but he's not Cade Cunningham. So I'm taking actually a Baylor-Oklahoma State rematch. Ooh,
So you're taking Oklahoma State as kind of your dark horse to make it.
Yeah, they're making the Final Four, buddy.
Already. And then we're going to move on.
Better.
I have in the
Don't make me
Michigan
look
region,
stupid.
I have Florida State and Alabama in the Elite. I have Michigan losing to LSU. And then I like Alabama. I told you I'm really.
Oh my God! You're losing the second round.
I told you
I'm
I'm really high on Alabama. They can. I know you said they can have one off night, but I think they have shooters that can do it. They've been dominant all year long. Florida State, Alabama, that kind of seems like an old football matchup when Jameis was there.
I thought you were going to go further back.
Oh, yeah, probably. But, you know
like Bobby
what
Bowden was
it means when Florida State was, was Alabama as relevant as
they
that
were.
time?
It's just, I don't know. I just thought, I don't know.
I was talking more like the early 2010s and stuff.
No, I was talking like 2000s.
Anyway, not as important to the show right now. I like Alabama.
Yeah.
So my Final Four is Gonzaga, Alabama, Ohio State, and Illinois.
I had Florida State, Texas. I did have Florida State beating Michigan. I really, because Alabama's going to get upset by Maryland. I really.
I'm sorry.
I have Texas going to the Final Four. I really like the way Texas is playing some ball this year, led by Coleman and Sims. And Shaka Smart's a great coach. He was a great coach at VCU. And no offense, you saw what happened to them after. They just don't play like the heavy basketball they used to. I really like Shaka Smart. I think he's a really good coach and doing a great job there. So I have Gonzaga versus Texas and Baylor and Oklahoma State rematch. I think my Final Four will be better than yours. No one wants to watch Alabama and Ohio State compared to a Baylor, Oklahoma, or Illinois, Ohio State compared to.
No, did you see that Big Ten?
Yeah, but everyone wants to see the Big 12 rematch.
No, it was a good one.
Prime time.
I have, and then I guess we'll
trying to be
reveal
better.
here. I have Gonzaga beating Alabama to get to the national title.
Oh, you don't have Alabama?
No, I was high on Alabama, but I think their
They're a
gas
football
tank.
school.
I think their gas tank runs out. Hey,
Yeah.
Nick Saban might have, given some tips on how to win. He doesn't know basketball, but it's winning is all, and competitiveness is across all sports. I like Illinois to beat Ohio State. I almost went with Ohio State here in the rematch. I think it's hard, when you play a team that many times a year. And am I revealing yet?
Yeah, go ahead.
I actually have Illinois winning the title.
Wow.
And I think it was difficult for me just because people are like Gonzaga. Everyone's picking Gonzaga. They think they're so superior above everyone else, and they're going to be 32-0 and be the first undefeated national champion since 1976. I really like Illinois and what they do, and I'm just going to – I think in the undefeated we'll have to wait another year.
Yeah, I actually have a really boring national championship. I actually have Gonzaga beating Texas. I just think Gonzaga comes at you with Suggs. He's going to be a lottery pick. Tilley's a really good player. They have 3 All-Americans. And Mark Few obviously is a great coach. I think Gonzaga, and I said this to you, I think Gonzaga should join the Pac-12 or something. Yeah. They should get out of their little West Coast conference. I know BYU's good, but it's like what Wichita State did, even though joining the American when they were dominant in the Missouri Valley, I think it was. Can't remember that far back. Don't have a good memory. But or it wasn't what was it? I don't remember what it was. Yeah. But I really think Gonzaga should consider joining the Pac-12 in basketball. Because the Pac-12 is not great, but it's going to be better than the West Coast. And I think recruiting he does well, but and he's always going to get recruits because they're a program who's been around for a while now. But I just think something about playing the competition, beefing up your resume and stuff. I think it'd be really fun to watch. But anyway, I take Gonzaga. I take Baylor to beat Oklahoma State in the rematch. I really like Cade Cunningham, but to beat Baylor twice in the season is going to be really difficult, especially with Butler and Mitchell. I think they're great. And I actually have Baylor winning the whole thing. I think Scott Drew finally brings a championship to Texas. I don't know how long it's been since the Texas team won in basketball. I think they're more dominant in that football. But I actually like Baylor this year.
I didn't want to pick the.
I'm nervous about Baylor because they normally don't go that far, and they have a team this year. But I'm nervous.
Yeah, remember the one year they were on the call and he called an upset.
Was that Georgia State?
That
was RJ Hunter.
What was that guy's name when he's like, "We need to rebound"? I can't remember his name. It was a really funny press conference.
Because they had 2 upsets. They lost to Georgia State one year, and they lost to So I'm kind of nervous about it. I think this is the year.
Made the national title game since 1948. We'll see. That's their best finish. We'll see if they have the guards and shooting to get there.
It's the year.
If them and Alabama square off, and what would it be? It would be the national title, right? That'll be a shooting game. I don't think Alabama will get there because I think that's Gonzaga.
Yeah.
But guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. Let us know your predictions down below, and if we are right. So you have Baylor winning it all, Illinois winning it all. We did go with 1 seeds. At the end of the day, we're kind of what's that chalk?
Yeah.
What's that? Yeah.
Chalky McChalker City.
Yeah, or whatever they say. We are that this year. But it's the NCAA tournament. You never know what happens.
And the Patriots will probably sign another free agent by the time we put this up.
Yeah, probably. Guys, we are going to wrap it up. We'll see you next time on Double Trouble. Go ahead and follow us on social media. The links are in the description and in the front row LA. Make sure you subscribe before you leave.
Yo, I'm in the front row. Got 2 tickets on me. I'm in the front row. The best place to be. I'm in the front row. Best place to be. So what's colder than ice and even hotter than a flame? I'll be in the front row chilling out.